Welcome to Wednesday Live. What's everybody up to this fine morning? Man, you guys are here already. You guys are here before me. What's going on? For some reason it won't let me scroll here. Let's see. Watch and learn here. What's up, my friend? Paul's here. Hello, everyone. Mike's here. Mike says good morning from Seattle. Neptunes, what's up? Neptune says good morning, everyone. Mike says I need to leave in a half hour, but will enjoy the stream for as long as I can. Right on, right on. Right on. Welcome, everyone. What is happening? I'm a little bundled up this morning because it's kind of chilly. We're supposed to get like freezing rain and snow, and I don't know what all we're supposed to get really, but but it's definitely a little bit chilly this morning. I got the heat on in here, but it's not quite warm enough to not have several layers on. Let's see here. Neptune says, "Hey Jeff." What's up? Paul says, "Work, only work." Yeah, we got some work going on here as well. In fact, while you guys are putting over here what you're working on, we'll talk a little bit about kind of what I'm working on. Well, you guys know I've been working on the bass guitar, and if you saw the video where I did the finish, you'll know I talked about the problems that I got by improperly applying the finish. Some of those issues came back to haunt me over the last couple of days. I had it almost all the way assembled. The neck was on, most of the hardware was on, the bridge, bushings, everything was in place, and I was working on making some soldering connections for the electronics, and I just kept looking at the finish in the top, and on the video and everything it looked really well, but I kept seeing these little marks in there, and I just was not happy with it, and I was getting quite disgusted and really kind of thought that I was going to have to sand the thing down and respray the top because something just wasn't right. I don't know if it was some of the bubbles that I got on the sides and back were finally working their way through. Whatever the deal was, I talked with my brother who is an auto body. He's a painter, knows a lot about the buffing and polishing and all of that kind of stuff, and he suggested that I re-wet sand it and buff it before I start, before I sand the thing all back off, and it cleared it up. I don't know what it was, but the last couple of days I've been working on that again. The finish, I had to pull everything back off and re-sanded it, buffed it up, and now it's looking. It looks a bazillion times better than even it did before. I thought it looked good before until I noticed those little marks, but now it's looking really good. Yesterday I got it all buffed back up to, with the step 1 of the polish. So as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go back through step 2 and 3 and get everything shined back up and hopefully start reassembling components again that I already had on there. So that thing is kicking my butt, to be quite honest. But that's okay. We're not going to give up. We're going to get it done. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm still working on the bass. After that, I'm gonna do something a little easier. I think I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna build a little leather sheath. I think little knife sheath, and that'll be kind of fun. Sometimes the hand stitching is just what you need after a frustrating project. But anyway, that's what's going on around here. Neptune says, I need a Binford heater. Yeah, I know. Like a V8 or something on it. Mike says, posted my projects on the website, Cajon and all. I saw them. Man, they look awesome. I have got to do a Cajon. Patty's here. Patty says, afternoon, everyone. Afternoon, Patty. It's morning here, but afternoon for you. Rick's here. Rick says, hi, Jeff. What's up, man? Neptune says, oh, Gina's here. Gina says, good morning, all. Good morning to you, too. Neptunes, good morning, Gina. Oh, Gina says it really is. He has a vein that pops out, and I've seen that vein a lot the last few days. Yeah, when I get frustrated, there's like this weird vein right here. It just oh, my head's cold. Put that back on. Rick says, when are you going to play us a tune on the bass? As soon as I get it together. Yeah, I've been fighting issues with the finish, but I think I've got everything sorted out. Fingers crossed. And there will be a tune. I got to find a buddy of mine to play the bass, because it's a right-hander, and I got to find someone that can play it. I have a couple bass player friends, but, well, one of them, well, they all seem to have moved away. So I got to find somebody locally who can play around on that thing. We'll do a little demo video for that when it's all done, and there will be some bass tunes. As far as me, I'm not a bass player, but I can, give it the old one finger bum bum bum. And it's a righty. It's a right-handed guitar, and I'm lefty, so I got to play it backwards, and yeah. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it sorted. Rick says, not much. Having coffee. Me too. We got some nice hot coffee here. I've been making my coffee lately a little bit stronger, like an extra scoop in there. And it's actually, I don't know, it's tasting pretty good. I don't like it super, super strong, but one extra scoop in there seems to be doing the trick. Neptune's Gina, LOL. Yeah, that vein right there pops out. And when I get a sunburn. Isn't that weird? If I get a sunburn, that vein is like constantly. Manuel says, good morning. Good morning to you. Rick says, good job. It's looking real nice so far. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate that. Paul says, you had the same issue with the Barncaster that you built a while back. The right-handed Barncaster. Let's see, which one did I have issue with the finish on a Barncaster? I only built one right-handed Barncaster. That didn't have the same finish. I'm trying to think which one. I haven't had this kind of issue before. I've had other issues, of course, like like all of us, but as far as this issue with this particular clear, Paul says not finished playing it. Yes, it's always an issue, because there's not really. Well, you guys, most of you guys are right-handed, I would dare say, and it's the same with guitars. There are left-handed players, but the majority of guitar players, I dare say, are right-handed, and I just can't play a right-handed instrument. I can play it better upside down and play it kind of a lefty than I can actually trying to play it right-handed. So yeah, it's always kind of tricky for me, trying to find somebody. Luckily for guitars, I've got a ton of friends who are always down to do a demo. But yeah, it's always, that's a challenge for me because I can't really just sit down with a right-handed instrument and fluently play it. Yeah, I always got to find somebody to do it for me. Most of the time that's not a problem, but this one being a bass, I don't know a whole lot of bass players. And the ones that I do know that I would normally call on, those guys have moved out of town, and maybe I'll just need to make a trip. I think one buddy lives in Arizona somewhere, so maybe I'll have to go down there. So if anybody's local to the Colorado Springs area and you want to demo a bass when I get this done, let me know. Rick says, how many layers of clear coat can you apply before it's too much? I don't know. I guess that it kind of depends, I would say, on maybe how much, what kind of a finish you want. For this bass, I really, well, I, as well as the customer, wanted that really super deep, glossy, clear. So if you want that, you know, you're going to need to apply a lot more. I usually apply 8 to 10. It seems like I always lose track. And somewhere in that neighborhood, along with a couple coats of sanding sealer, which was applied to this. So I guess overall the finish probably has 12, 13 coats, including sanding sealer on it. The more you apply, it starts to, well, you get it. Obviously, you get a deeper finish. Some people don't necessarily want that super deep, kind of dipped in plastic look, but for this project and several others that I've done, that's kind of the look that I want. I want that thick, deep, clear, and for something like an acoustic guitar, you know, a lot of times those don't have the same kind of finish, so you're going to be applying many less coats, or maybe even doing like a French polish, where you have just basically a really thin layer, and you can still get the same glossy look, but I don't know exactly how many layers. I've applied lacquer. I've applied in like 15 to 18 coats before on a guitar, and it didn't look too thick to me. So it depends on the finish. Now the finish that I'm using is Crystal-Lac Bright Tone. It's a water-based finish, and it's a little bit thicker than if you were spraying, like even a spray can of lacquer. So it goes on a little bit thicker, and it seems to take a lot longer to build up that super thick coating. So a few variables there, but you know, with this kind of coating, I like around 8 to 10. To me, it has the right balance of dipped in plastic kind of look. That's just what I've heard people call it. And I think if you went too much more than that, it might get a little too thick. I don't know. I don't know if that I don't know if that's at all helpful to you or not, but somewhere in that neighborhood, at least for this particular finish. Paul says, I have a glossy telly that I built, but I still prefer oil finish so you can feel the wood. You know, after these issues that I've been having with this particular instrument, and it all stems from mistakes on my part, right? Like I said in the video, you know, I applied it incorrectly, so I kind of caused myself these headaches. But after this, I think I'm going to go to an oil finish, at least for the next couple of builds, maybe just something simple. I was thinking about trying some of those oil wax deals, something similar to the Rubio. There's another one. It wasn't the Rubio I was looking at. Can't think of the name of it at the moment. If you guys got an oil wax finish go-to, leave it over here because I can't think of the name. That's what I've been thinking about trying. Something simple, fairly easy to apply, and still looks good. Especially after this, I need a break. Plus, doing a super high gloss finish, really, it's a lot of work. You know, between all of the spraying, the level sanding, the wet sanding, the buffing, the polishing, all of that, it's a fair bit of work to get a nice oil finish, or a nice glossy finish. And yeah, I think my brain needs a break from that. I do all of my necks right now with an oil finish because I like that oil feel on the neck. So I think Paul, I'm gonna go down that road here shortly. Grant Nader says, could you do a shop tour video one day? I've done that before, at least on the lives, just a quick tour, but maybe I might be able to do that. There's not a whole lot to see. Pretty much, if you've seen any of the videos, you've seen pretty much my whole shop, really, because I can almost touch wall to wall and ceiling to floor, and it's not very big. But I mean, if that would be interesting, you know, I could do that. We could throw something out there at some point. Sandman, hello from the UK. What is up, Sandman? How are things going over there today? How's your, let's see, you're going to be afternoon, right? How's your afternoon going? Patty says, my go-to coffee is called Midnight Oil by a small company called Wilshaw Supply. You know, speaking of coffee, I'm really, I don't do a lot of like the fancier, I don't know if that's the right word, the smaller coffee roasters. I would like to, but we drink a lot of coffee, and that really starts to get quite expensive when you go through as much coffee as we go through here, and that's kind of, you know, I kind of just stick with the, you know, the stuff you can get in a big large can, and but there are several of them out there that I would kind of like to try just to see what they are. So I do. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. If I ever decide to try some of that. Midnight Oil by Wilshaw Supply. I'll have to look them up. Rick says, however you do it, you're doing a great job. I like your work. Well, thank you, Rick. I definitely appreciate that. Philip's here. Philip says Odie's Oil. That's another one of the brands, but there's another one. I can't think of the name. I don't know why the name escapes me. It's not the Rubio. I wouldn't mind trying any of them, really. They're all kind of similar. I was going to say the same, but I don't know. I've never used them. What the heck is that other one called? I can picture the can. But one of those, it's very similar to that. And in fact, probably any or all of those would probably get you about the same result. But I do want to try that. The oil wax finishes. They look super easy to apply, and from what I hear, they're pretty durable, really. So I definitely think I'm going to try that. Philip, have you used the Odie's oil? I'm not against any of them, honestly. I just know that the brand, whatever the brand is, I can't think of. I know I can get it at my local Woodcraft, and yeah, maybe they have all of it. I don't know. I haven't been in there in a while. Shame on me. Neptune says to Patty, let's see, I don't drink coffee, but I love the band Midnight Oil. I forgot about those guys. What the heck song was it they sang? That was the 80s, wasn't it? Or was it the 90s? Can't remember now. Grant Nader, just got a bandsaw recently. I've always cut out guitar bodies with a jigsaw. Any tips for cutting out bodies with a bandsaw? Yeah, that was a great question. Number one, the biggest tip, I would say, have a nice sharp blade on there. If your blade's old and worn out, definitely consider replacing it with a new one, because a brand new blade, really no matter the width, man, they just cut like a dream, and you'll get much better results. Also, don't necessarily jump for the widest blade you can put on there. I forget what I have on there. 3/16? No, that's got to be a 1/4 inch at least, I think, on mine. My little saw is a little 10-inch benchtop deal, mainly for space reasons. And it'll accept up to a 1/2 inch blade, and I have used a 1/2 inch blade to cut out bodies because it's the only one I had. It's not great. You can't get into the like the tight curves around the horn, and it's a little bit harder to get nice smooth cuts. It can be done, but it's not great. I would look for maybe something down the middle of what yours will take. I've also used an 1/8 inch blade on mine. It's almost too small, and mine anyway wants to break the blade quite a bit. So I found somewhere in the 1/4 inch, I wish I had a box, I could exactly tell you what size I have. In the 1/4 inch, 5/16 maybe range, not 5, yeah. Yeah, somewhere around there I think is a pretty good size to be able to still get the nice curves but also cut straight lines pretty well. it's, you know, it's not a bad idea to have a wide one on hand if you need to do some resawing or something like that. But go for a good sharp blade. Make sure your table, take a square, you know, some kind of a square, a machinist square, something like that. Make sure your table is as square as you can get it to the blade, and then adjust your bearings so that it keeps that blade nice and stable. Because as you're cutting, if you're pushing, let's say your blades are set tight on the top, but maybe a little too loose on the bottom, that can cause your blade to drift. And you want to try to avoid that. Also, don't push the wood into the blade. Let the blade cut, and then let the blade do the work, basically. You know, just keep your piece moving, but don't force it. Just, you know, go nice and easy. Let the blade do what it's supposed to do, and you should have pretty good results. Even on a smaller bandsaw, you can still do it. That's one thing that's sometimes tricky. I don't know what you got for a saw, but let's see. I'm trying to go back up here. You didn't say what kind of saw, right? Just got a bandsaw. So even on a smaller benchtop deal, mine's, like I said, mine's a 10-inch. You can still cut out bodies. Sometimes it gets a little tight, and you have to flip the piece around and maybe come at it from another angle. But you can do it. You can definitely do it. I've cut out tons of bodies over here on my little saw, and yeah, have a nice sharp blade. Make sure your table's square, and make sure your bearings are set to hold that blade in place. There's tons of videos out there about setting up a bandsaw. I still struggle with that, to be quite honest with you. If you get it too tight, you know, it can bind up the blade. Loose, then it lets lets your blade flop around. But set it up as best you can with a nice blade. You're gonna do awesome. Paul says just make some OB shine juice. Works great. 130 natured, third shellac, third mineral spirits. Store upside down so alcohol doesn't evaporate. That's a great idea. Never thought about that. Upside down so it doesn't evaporate. Huh. I have done something similar. Not shellac. I haven't done shellac, but I've done mineral spirits, boiled linseed oil, and wipe on poly. And it's not exactly the same because it's poly instead of shellac, but and I do like that finish. That would probably work pretty good too. Mike says the Folgers man could use the coffee as a stain. It's actually not Folgers. It's the other major brand that you can buy at the store. Philip says, I haven't had the guts to pull the trigger and spend $45 on a jar. Yeah, that is the little bit limiting factor. I feel like if it works as good, the oil wax finish, if it works as good as it looks like it does, it's probably worth it. But not having used it, yeah, it is kind of hard to go pick one up. I'm not really knowing going into it, so it's kind of one of those things I think you just have to do at some point. Grant Nader says, my favorite coffee is made by Charleston Coffee Roasters. I love it because it tastes great and it's organic. I can get it in a big old bag at Costco. I wonder, we'll have to look. I'll have to look at like Sam's or something next time we go. Patty says, the Neptunes, as soon as I saw, I had to buy some because of the band. Beds Are Burning, yes. Another Aussie band, or the Triffids? I've not heard of them, the Triffids. Yes, Beds Are Burning, that's right. That's the one. Oh, great. Now that song's going to be stuck in my head. It's already there. Oh. And Neptune says most popular from Midnight Oil was Beds Are Burning. Yeah. Some reason I keep thinking, like, a Men at Work. I don't know what the heck they're saying, but... Watch and Learn says, I have the same bandsaw you have and find a 1/4 inch is a good blade. That's kind of what I'm finding, too. I've tried the really small ones, and like I said, I break them super quick. Probably a setup issue, you know, too much tension or something like that. But the one I have on there, Well, it's been on there a while, and it's the last one I have. I think it's one size bigger than a 1/4 inch. It just, I mean, I'm kind of just eyeballing it from here, but it's around there. And it seems, that size seems to, the 1/4 inch to 5/16 for me seems to work pretty good. I've tried tons of different brands, and they all seem to break. I don't seem to have, I haven't found one over the other that seems to last longer, so I usually just buy, what do I have on there? I think it's a Starrett blade. I can get them at Woodcraft. I've tried the Timberwolf. I've tried a couple other brands, and they all seem to, none of them seem to last longer based on my experience. So I just kind of stick with the cheaper one. Not the cheapest one you can possibly get, but you know, try to buy a decent blade, and you'll have good results. Mike says, I think we've been rickrolled with the 80s music. I agree with you. I am not an 80s music fan necessarily. There are songs from the 80s that I do like, and that, you know, that I can listen to, but yeah, overall, yeah, it's probably not my favorite era of music. Definitely not the pop stuff. I don't, you know, some more of the rock stuff, the hair band things I can kind of get along with, even though I don't have any hair, but oh, Rick rolled. How Neptune's to Patty. Wow. Grant Nader, my bandsaw is a Harbor Freight 9-inch benchtop saw. Same deal. You know, I don't think it matters the brand, really. As long as you have a sharp blade and you have your table square, even if you have to get in there with some shims, you know, even paper, you can shim it with paper. Get that sucker square, you're going to have good results. Paul says, got to go to a meeting. Take care, all. Right on, Paul. Have fun at your meeting. Good luck with whatever it is. Have an awesome day, man. Thanks for stopping in. Tasty. All right, man, now I got that song, Beds Are Burning. It's stuck in my head. Darn it. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, Mike says, same here. Take care. Right on, Mike. You guys have an amazing day. Have an amazing rest of your week. That is great. Right on, guys. Cool. Really quick, if you're enjoying this live, go ahead and hit that. I don't know where it is on yours, but right there, the little thumbs up thingy. Go hit that right now. I dare you. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Alrighty. So, let's see. Neptune's later, Mike. Gina says, have a great meeting, guys. Are they in the same meeting? How come we weren't invited to the meeting? Get Enlightened says, do you have a favorite brand and size of Fretwire? Ooh, that's a great question. I would have to go grab it. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. Do I have a piece nearby? In order to give you the good answer, I'm going to have to go grab it. But I don't want to leave you guys here. I'm probably going to trip over the camera if I get up. I have the Fretwire. There's two Fretwires that I like to use, and I've not tried all of them. Just to be perfectly clear up front, I've not tried, you know, the super huge and the super small. The Fretwire that I use all comes from, not sponsored, but it all comes from Stuart McDonald. I buy all my Fretwire from them. I like their Fretwire. I don't use stainless wire. I just buy their normal, I believe it's nickel silver. The one that I've used their jumbo Fretwire for some of my first builds, because I've been playing electric guitars with jumbo frets for years, and they're almost, it's almost too jumbo. And again, I apologize, I don't have the number in front of me for what I've used. But you know what? I almost think I can bring this up. because I want to try to give you the best answer possible. So I'm going to try to pull up StewMac here on the old device. I want to give you numbers. So the wire that I've been using that I like the most, it actually says on here, I believe, that it's Dan's favorite wire, and that's the one that I've been using as well, and I really do like that size. I gotta accept the cookie. They're trying to give me cookies. Man, what a great place. Hopefully it's chocolate chip. Let's see, Fretwire. Fretwire. This is live TV. I'm trying to give you the trying to give you the best answer. I think it's the medium. It's not stainless. It's not the wide. I think it's the medium. Where is that here? Okay, so the one that says that it's Dan's favorite Fretwire is their medium higher wire. This is their 0152 Fretwire. I think that's the right number. It's got a .092 width, a .048 crown, and a .062 tang. That's the one that I've been using. I buy it in their, their bulk, what is it, their 1 pound pack or whatever. That's the one that I have been really liking. I think it's it's a medium width, but it's higher. So I like that because you've got room, once you install it, you've got some room to remove a little bit of material when you do your leveling and crowning, and it doesn't end up with too low of a fret. And it seems to work pretty good. I have used their wide wire before. Let's see if I can find that. I think it was the wide jumbo. Let's see what it's called here. Wide. I think it's the wide high. I think that's the one that I've used before. Yeah, and it's not the pyramid. Wish I could pop this up on here and we could look at it together. But I think I've used their wide high before, and it works fine. I've not had any negative issues with any of the stuff that I've used from them, but it just seemed a little too much. So unless you do an extensive leveling and crowning, it seems like it's still too big, I think, and you end up pulling it out of tune when you're fretting it a little bit more than you do with kind of the medium. So I use their medium high, and let's see which one I use for bass. I can't remember which one I use. I use a little bit bigger one for the bass. Sorry, I'm looking away here, but I'm trying to. Maybe I should hold this over here. That way, I'm looking right at you guys. I think so. That's a medium high. No, medium higher, I believe, is the one. I wonder if it was the medium highest that I used. I feel like I used a wide one. I think I used a wide for the bass necks. I'm pretty sure. I think I used wide medium. Yeah, sorry I don't have the exact numbers there, but it's all been the StewMac wire. There's tons of different places you can get it from, but I usually order at least once a year from those guys. Some sort of supplies or something, and I always just take an inventory of where I'm at, and if I think I'm going to need some more in the next year, I usually just order a pack of it. I don't order a ton from those guys. I used to have their, what is that? That's their little membership thing with the free shipping, but I don't order from them enough to justify spending that. So I just pay the shipping once a year or twice maybe, and yeah. So I hope that helps a little bit. Get enlightened. Neptune says, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel get noticed more. Yes. Yes, it does. Thanks, Neptune, for pointing that out. Hit that subscribe button, guys. If you enjoy these lives, if you enjoy the project videos, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you guys on along for the ride. Neptune's, there's a link right there. Luthier Tools, the StuMac. Brian says, hey, Jeff and everyone. Hope you're all well and safe. Right on, Brian. Thanks, man. We are doing good. And everything, we're all well and good around here. A little chilly, but overall, we're doing good. Brian says, have completed a small workbench to assemble guitars recently. You just need to add a couple of vices. Yeah. That's something that, well, we've talked about a little bit. I've got this table behind me, and I keep thinking that I want to convert that to something. And I'd like to add some different vices. But I've also been, have you guys seen those workhorse things? It's almost like a sawhorse, but it has like a small workbench top on it. I've kind of been thinking about something like that. A friend of mine here locally who builds guitars, he's got something like that in his space, and it's really awesome. He's got the kind of that carver's vise and stuff, very similar to the red version that you can buy from StuMac on there, and it's really a cool setup. So I've kind of been thinking about that. Maybe I could just get rid of the table, but I don't know. I'm always kicking around ideas. But yeah, having a good workbench, you know, something that is nice and sturdy with some vices on there, nice. That's going to be awesome. Get Enlightened says, thanks. I'm going to try some medium high from Philly Luthier Supply. Not ready to buy a pound yet. Yeah. Yeah, you know, if you're not doing a lot of builds, you don't need that much. It's like 60 feet or something like that. I have found that when I'm doing a neck, I need at least 2 sticks. I think a bass is going to take a little more because it's wider. But to do a guitar, I need at least 2 pieces. And that's if you don't make a mistake and cut one wrong somehow. Not that ever happens. We don't do that. What was I thinking? Brian says Jay Bates built a couple on his channel. Yes, he's got a couple different ones. Some with the match fit slots and stuff like that. But yeah, it just looks like a super awesome way, like a different way to work. Really, you know, a lot of us, myself included, are used to having, you know, a bench or a table of some sort, and everything gets piled on there. No, just me. And that's why I was thinking about something like that, because you don't have a lot of space to throw stuff on there and get in your way while you're working. You have your workspace, and that's about it. So that's kind of, for me, the intriguing part of something like that. You know, plus it saves a lot of space. My table that's behind me, really, it ends up being just a place to set stuff. And yeah, I don't know, which a lot of times you need, but it gets piled sometimes. So that's why I was thinking kind of the workhorse deal might be a good option. Brian says, I thought your video on the neck support was fantastic, and I'm planning to build one also. Well, thank you. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. That was one of those things, like I said in the video, right? I started out, well, it's still sitting here in the trash. My old one, it just started out as, you know, something that I needed. And so I just grabbed a piece of wood and started trying stuff. And while it worked, you know, after a while you figure out what you like and what you don't like, and it was time. It was time to build one that had a little more of the features that you know, that I wanted in there. And I think this new one's going to be so much better. This one, like I said, you know, this is all open in here, and the neck would bow, and there's no supports in there. And by having just the notches, you know, to take my measurements, and having it fully supported basically across the neck, I think that's going to make a big difference. Yeah, just overall, and the height, that was the biggest thing. So if you're going to build one, take into account the height. You know, maybe set it on your table or set it on your bench or wherever you plan to do carving or whatever work you're going to do, and just, you know, even if you just clamp a stick of wood to the top, make sure your hands are not going to hit the table easily anyway. That was the problem with this one. There's if it's sitting right on the bench, this is only like 4 inches, 5 inches, if that. Three and a half. This is only 3.5 inches tall, so not a lot of room. I would usually clamp it to the edge of my table, work off one side, then I could flip it around, work off the other side. But being able to work off both sides relatively easy, I think that's going to make a big difference. So just some things to keep in mind, I guess, when you're building yours. Mine's about 8 inches tall. I don't even know if I included that in the video. Now that I think about that, maybe I did. Just try to figure out what height is going to work for you if you're carving. You don't want to smash your hand into the table. That hurts. TPC's here. What's up, man? TPC says the Keter and Viver portables are cool. So's the Works. The little portable workbench deals. Yeah, I've seen some of those. I don't recall that brand, but yeah. Neptune says, morning, TPC. TPC, hi, Neptunes. Wood says, hi, what's going on? Patty says, gotta go, guys. Have a good week. Always good to listen in. Oh, Patty's got a meeting, too. Do you join in a meeting with the others? I want to be in this meeting. Right on, Patty. Glad to have you here, and hope you have an awesome afternoon, evening, week. Right on, man. Have a good one. Get some more miles in. Yeah. Patty rides a lot of miles on the old bike. It's pretty awesome, actually. And Neptune says, later, Patty. TPC's, see ya, Padrag. Ooh, it's actually starting to warm up in here. I got too many layers on now. That's a good thing. Anyway, TPC, how's your build coming along that you'd started on a while back, I believe? Made any progress on that? Or the shop build? How's things been going? Oh, did you guys get a bunch of that snow recently? Like over the weekend? Did you get snow over your way? I know back in Pennsylvania way they got a fair bit. 7, 8, 10 inches, something like that, at least where my family is. Which isn't a giant storm, but I wish we'd get that much here. Uh-oh, I clicked something accidentally. I always do that. There we go. Right on. Let's see here. So I guess we'll just, let's see. Watch and learn, you still here? Still in the house? I can't see. I can't see who all's in, but. Sorry, I scrolled and then like I lost where we were. TPC, did you leave us already? Anyway, guys, let's see what else is happening around here. I've got a challenge for you guys for this year. I'll watch and learn still here. All right, good. So yesterday, I'm shooting a quick video for tomorrow, and for this weekend, I mean, and I've got a challenge for all of you. What is that one project that you guys have been wanting to do, but you just haven't done it? This year, I challenge you to do that thing. What is that thing? We're still pretty early in the year this year, and why not make it the year to do the thing that you've been wanting to do? For quite a few years, several of you guys have asked me when I'm going to build an acoustic guitar. And, you know, I just keep saying, one of these years, you know, it's something I want to try. And I've got some friends locally who keep asking me about that. Well, I've been challenged by Watch and Learn. Watch and Learn is also working on learning how to build an acoustic guitar, working through the process. And, yeah, he's challenged me officially. Challenge accepted, my friend. So he sent me some parts for an acoustic, and that's going to be my project for one of my projects for this year, is to complete an acoustic guitar by year end. Hopefully before that, but overall that's the plan. I've got a ton of stuff to learn about the whole process. You know, I need to make some jigs and molds and all kinds of stuff. So it's not something that I'm going to do over the next couple of videos. That's not at all the case. This is going to be a learning process. But Watch and Learn said, all right, challenged. So I will be doing videos throughout the year, however long it takes, covering the process. And I've got, like I said, I've got a lot to learn, but that's my thing for this year, build an acoustic guitar. But I want to know what yours is, and then I want to challenge you guys to do what you can to make that happen. I don't care if it takes all year, but if by the end of the year you can say, oh, I completed this leather project that I've been wanting to do. And, you know, I'm going to challenge you guys, step outside of your comfort zone and attack that project that you've kind of maybe shied away from a little bit. So yeah, I want to challenge you guys, just like Watch and Learn has challenged me to get it done. And Watch and Learn, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into the whole process. I know I have a lot to learn as far as the steps and the fixtures and things that I'm going to need to make. But I'm sure we're going to get some pretty cool projects and some different installments, you know, different videos here and there as I get into it. So right now, I'm just learning. I've started, you know, watching some videos on the whole process, just learning where I need to start, basically. I also have a buddy here in town who builds acoustics, and I think I'm going to have to hit him up, you know, just to pick his brain, figure out where I need to go, what I need to do, and it's going to be fun. But again, I want to challenge you guys. Find that thing. I don't care if it's a small, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Whatever that project that you've been wanting to do, one of these years, one of these days, one of these months, make this the year to jump in and do it. You know, take your time, learn what you need to learn, and, you know, get whatever materials, tools, whatever it is that you need to do. You guys can do this. It's going to be fun. We should make an official name for it, but I don't know what that name should be. Like 2022 challenge or something like that. Anyway, TPC says the 7-string is in Cali being played in the studio. We've had a foot of snow. The Rick 401 has not started, or 4001 has not started yet. Still buying up the wood. Oh, you're still looking for that that one special piece? Brian says, you're going to participate in the Great Guitar Build-Off again this year. I keep going back and forth on that. I kind of want to. I'm going into it, if I do it, with a little bit different mindset than last year. Last year was the first year I had anything to do with it. And those of you that were in it or followed it, you guys know there was some technical issues with the voting. Supposedly they've got a different idea for that this year. I don't know much about it yet, but I feel like I'm going to do it. If I do the build, I think what I'm going to do is going to be, again, outside of my comfort zone a little bit, just to do it, kind of for fun, and to document the process. And if it goes somewhere, cool. I guess, I don't know. That whole voting thing last year kind of left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth from that. But so that's why I say if I do it, I really am throwing all that out the window, and it would just be for fun. And regardless of, the results. So looking at it that way, I think I might do it, and because it would just be a fun project. What I'm thinking of, anyway, it'd just be kind of cool, something different, and it would be an instrument that I don't currently have already. So I'm just going to leave it at that for right now, until I decide for sure. Most likely I'll do it, though. TPC says, the Rick clone build's been wanting to do this since '85. It's in the works. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of a project. Yes. This is the year you will get it done, my friend. Neptune says, to watch and learn. Awesome challenge. Neptune's, mine is to get my shop up and running. Bam! There you go. See? It would be awesome. Watch and Learn says, we'll call it the Awesome Guitar Challenge. 2022 Awesome Guitar Challenge. Doesn't have to be a guitar challenge. I'm challenging all of you to do whatever it is. It could be building an instrument. It could be building whatever. That's my challenge. On Neptune's, there's the great guitar build-off link. Yeah, I think I'll probably do it. I'm going to approach it differently than last year. Because it would be kind of cool, I think, at least to build the thing that I'm thinking of. I'm being very unclear yet because I don't want to throw it out there yet. I haven't decided. TPC says, the great guitar jerk around for only those special people. Yeah, it's kind of... I'm just going to bite my tongue on that one. Let's just say it wasn't... Yes, it wasn't super smooth last year. But maybe better this year. I don't know. I might do... It was kind of fun, though. Doing the project videos and documenting the entire build. Although I would probably do that anyway, just being, having it in there, being in there, it's kind of a, I don't know, I guess it's kind of fun. I will probably do it, but we'll see. Time will tell. I may change my mind. I think registration opens on February 1st like it did last year. And, yeah. I've got some other things, though, that would kind of cut my time short. Some other projects that I want to get done too. So yeah, I got to take all that into consideration. TPC says, I've heard so many stories from guys I've known for years about what a sham it was. Yeah, it was. There was issues. There really were. Unfortunately, there were people that were in. I'm trying to be careful here because I don't want to. I'm not trashing what they were trying to do. I think overall the whole thing was a good thing, right? It gets everybody to building instruments. But unfortunately, there were a few unscrupulous individuals that felt that they needed to sway the vote one way or another. And yeah, that is disappointing that there are, there's people out there that just can't maybe instead of that, just build better. How about that? Instead of feeling that they needed to mess around with the voting, accept what it is, right? If you build a cool thing, then people will vote for it. If you don't, build better. There's a challenge. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, Watch and Learn says you can enter an acoustic guitar into GGBO. Yeah, I believe you can. There was at least one, maybe a couple last year. So I think you need to do it. Brian says, thanks for the stream, Jeff. I have to fix dinner. We'll check in next time. Take care, everyone, and stay safe. Right on, Brian. Next week, we will be live over on the old FB, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Love to have you tune in over there. I know some people tune into both. Some people tune into one or the other. I just enjoy having you guys tune in and hang out for a little while. So, Brian, have an excellent dinner. Have an awesome week too, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. TPC says, see you, Brian. Yeah, TPC face barf. Yeah, kind of. Anyway, man, that's still nice and hot. It's not sponsored. But, man, this thing works really good. Again, Lighten says, have you made your own radius sanding blocks? Yes, I have. Some may call it cheating. Let me show you. 3D printed, even. I created this file. You know, you can go online and download them, but I don't ever download someone's design. I use it. I might take inspiration from it, but then I always sit down, design my own, and then print them out. And this is what I've been using for the majority of everything. My only the only thing that I'm not super crazy about is I wish they were heavier. Now I suppose I could probably print these with more material to make it a little heftier. But overall, these things work great. I've built the model so I can print it up in whatever radius you want to. Do you want an 11.38275 radius? I can make that. Whatever radius you want, I can do that. You know, I printed on here. These are 12s. Or this one's a 12. And this is what I use. So, you know, I haven't made them out of wood, like a lot of us are familiar with, but I have made my own blocks, and these are what I use. And even though it's 3D printed, I've never had an issue with one breaking. I've not had any issue with irregularities. Everything's consistent. I've got some friends who have been testing these out also locally, and they've never had an issue either. But yeah, that's what I use. I've got several of the wooden ones, but overall, I like to have a bunch of these, at least 3, 4, 5 of these things. That way I can have different grits on here, and I don't have to swap it out as much. I can just grab this one. Well, see, this one I got 80 grit on there. So, you know, I just go from 80 to 120, 220, 320, and I just grab a different block. It saves a ton of time. Of course, when it comes time to replace all the paper, I mean, that takes a little bit, but it's really not a big deal. By having multiples and being able to 3D print them, it makes a huge difference, I think, in how long it takes you to actually hand sand a radius. You know, you can just lay these out and go from one to the next. It works really well. Watch and Learn says, I'm heading, Jeff. Right on, buddy. You take care down there, and we will catch you next time. And thanks for the challenge, too. Neptune says, later, watch and learn. Neptune's also said, I thought about adding lead to a print in the infill. Would you just drop it in while the machine's running? Because that's an interesting idea. Man, you know how rattly that would be? That's an interesting thought, though. I like that. Huh. Neptune says, lead shot. Yeah, you could you, like, even BBs, could you, like, just drop them in there? Again, Lighten says, nice, I was thinking about 3D printing, but I can't print super high, so I was worried it wouldn't be long enough. How high can you go on your printer? Because I do print these standing up. I don't think I would, at least not this design, and I'm not sure if I could lay this down, but I do print it standing up. These are 8 inches. So depending on what your height is. Alexander says, hello again. What's up, Alexander? Welcome. What is going on? Neptune says, yes, you just drop it in while it's printing. That's an interesting thought. I got to ponder that one a little. Alexander says, hope you're all having a nice day. Man, we're doing good. Alexander says, though it's evening here, where I am. It's morning here, where I am, and it's a little bit cold outside. Not too bad in here, but doing well. I hope you're doing well just the same. So anyway, that's what I use, and I have bundles of them. In fact, I got to make some more. Problem is they take like 16 hours to print. So I usually start it up, let it run overnight. In fact, I might start one here as soon as we're done. But yeah, that's the deal. TPC says, gotta go, Jeff. Lunch. Oh, I'm getting hungry too. Yeah, I gotta wrap this up here in just a minute or so anyway too, because like I mentioned earlier, I gotta get back to repolishing the bass guitar. And I am getting hungry. Yeah. Right on, TPC. Take care, man. Enjoy the snow. Stay safe, and hopefully you find that piece of wood that you're looking for your build, because it's out there somewhere. It's got to find it. That's the hard part, right? Alexander says, I'm doing great, thank you. That is good. I am glad to hear that. Neptune says, later, TPC. Gina says, have a great day, all. Gina's out, too. Herman's out. Yeah, we got to wrap this up anyway. Gina's going back to work. Get back to work. It's a holdup. Yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Got to get this bass guitar repolished, reassembled, and wrap this thing up. And yeah, then we're going to do something a little easier. So guys, again, I want to encourage all of you to identify that thing that you've been wanting to build and make plans and preparations to do that this year. Whatever you got to learn, whatever you want to make, whatever materials you need to acquire, that is my challenge to all of you guys. I challenge you. Tackle that thing that you've been putting off. And right on, guys. I hope you guys all have an amazing week. Thank you again for taking the time out of your day to hang out here at Home Built Workshop. I appreciate all of you guys. I love hanging out with everyone and just talking shop and stuff and questions and instruments and whatever it is. I really look forward to these every week. And hope you guys all have a great week, or a great evening, a great afternoon, a great whatever. I wish you guys all the best. New project video coming out this weekend. That's the plan. Stay tuned. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it so much. And till next time, stay safe, and thanks for watching. Every time I say that, I try to hit the button, and I can't. Take care, guys. Oh, there it is. I pressed it. It didn't. Awkward moment.